Good morning. Good morning. I tell you, I'm excited about today. I am really, really excited. Today is about care. Wow. Who cares about you? Who? I do. I do. This is my business, as they say. I want to care about you. But before I can care about you, I have to compare how I must care for myself. People will use you, your time, your money, your wit, your creativity. They will stand on it. They will stand on you. So today is all about care. And I'm hoping last night you took good care of yourself. You went to sleep. You got a good night's rest. And you're moving on to today to make it that even if it's cloudy outside, your day is going to be sunny because you're going to take better care of yourself today than you did yesterday. And when you come on into this space of mine, I want you to write a little note. I thank you for coming in. I thank you for scrolling, stopping, staying. And if you would share it, that would even be better. You don't even have to write a note next to it. You don't have to write a post. Just share. And then that way somebody else can see you, to see that you're talking to some good folks. But today I have my counseling cup in because today I felt that this was a good session for just getting people to realize the importance of self-care. Self-care is just so hard to get across to people when you hear them and you know they're hurt, or you see them and you feel their pain, and you listen to their stories and you can't even add to the story, to take care because they're so into telling you their story. And what you want to say to them is take care of yourself. Because people can hurt us all the time. They can cause us great pain. They can put us in a position of trouble. And guess what? You don't need any of that, because tomorrow's still gonna be another day. What did Scarlett O'Hara say when she was out on all the land? And she said her father always told her that tomorrow will be another day, and it will. So how you feel today is temporary. It is absolutely temporary. You're going to find that the next day can be a better day if you put yourself into it. If you put yourself into it, you can't just assume that everything is going to be on what I'd say on your screen of happy every day. That's true. We're not going to be happy every day. But what we can say is that we can do our best attempt of taking care of our feelings, taking care of our heads, our hearts, our healing, our understanding, that not everyone is always going to be in your corner. They're not always going to be worried about your care. So you have to put your care in your own hands to take care of. No one else is going to do it. They may smile at you and see you and acknowledge you, but when all is said and done, they're going to go to their own houses. They're going to do their own thing and probably be trying to do their best of taking care of themselves. Good morning, Shirley. So the point is that you just want to be in a position of who is taking care of you. I'm telling you, got to put yourself first. You can't wait for anybody to do it, because even if they say they're going to do it, they won't do it. They won't. They'll always be too busy. Got something else to do. Good morning, Ronald. They'll put themselves in a position of, I'm going to get around to it, and they never get around to it because their care is more important than your care. Okay, understand that. So therefore, you have to look after you. Look after your head. Look after your heart. Look after how you're going to heal from the past, of people not taking care of you, not looking out for you. I mean, it's wonderful if you've been given a gift by God to have someone that looks after you. That's wonderful. but not everybody gets that same thing. Not everyone. As they say, the playing field is not equal. So therefore, you have to talk about, wow, I got a gift in that she cares, he cares. But even sometimes their care is going to wane a bit. It's going to drop a bit. So you have to determine, how do I take care of myself? If you're a diabetic, are you taking your right medicines? Are you eating the proper foods? Are you getting some exercise? If we have medical conditions, if we have emotional conditions, find somebody to talk to. If you have psychological conditions and you already been to Lakeview, no harm in that. No criticism in that. Whatever we need to do to take care of ourselves, we need to do it. And sometimes we just let it fall along the wayside, thinking that somebody else is going to come along. There just are no. There's just no perfectness to care unless you're perfectly in your own way of caring for yourself. Because other people they'll let you down. They don't mean to. They're busy. No one means to mistreat you unless, some people do have the spirit for it. They do have the will, because we've become their doormat. I'm asking you not to do it anymore. I'm asking you to get up, take care of yourself. Would I tell you to rise? I told you that 2 days ago. To get up and find your rise. Push forward. Don't let anybody steal your joy. And so today we're talking about our care. So, I'm going to ask you the question. Are you stuck? Yes, we are all stuck. Every single one of us. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. But we do get stuck. We do get behind on taking care of who we are. Good morning, Ashley. And so that's what we need to talk about. Not being stuck. Not letting people push us in a position of our hurt. Pushing us in a position of our pain. Of our what I call our needing to go to our knees. You can go to your knees anyway, but you need to go, when you get up, you need to be praising. You need to be praising the fact that you're excited about what's next for you, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there. And so today, in speaking about our care, I went to the internet again and I found some good stuff. And this first one says, it says, dare to self-care. Now, self-care, that the operative word there is self, not anybody else. It didn't say let my mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my preacher, none of that. Not even your children. It's your care. So let's start out. It says, speak kindly to your inner self. Don't take your demon's view. You are you, and no one else will lead the life you do. Kill your inner critic and silence all the chatter. Then write this truth inside your brain. I'm worth it and I matter. And that is written by Mo Moen. Almost like poem, but Moen, M-O-E-N. I love it. I just think that's really, really smart. To say that, like sometimes you get things in your head, you think because people don't come around that they don't care. They care, but their level of care for you can't be at the top of their list. They're going to try to take care of themselves. Most people try to do more for themselves than they shouldn't. But then there's some people who never take care of themselves. They're always giving, always willing to do something for everyone. And therefore, they feel depleted. They feel left out. They feel that someone doesn't care. They care. They just don't care as much as you might need them to care. And sometimes we have to own up to the fact that we're needy. And we're needy and we're waiting for somebody to do something for us. And not everybody can. And certainly not everybody will. So we have to be honest with who we are. So the other thing, it talks about this other thing on self-care. And it says there's 12 steps to it. Now this I got off of Twitter, and it doesn't have a name by it, but I love it. I still think it's really good. It says 12 steps for self-care. And I hope you have a pen and a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever you want to write with, because some of this stuff is good stuff. I didn't make it all up, but then my creativity just told me I need to come in with some good stuff. so that you will be able to take it away with you. But this one talks about 12 steps for self-care. And it says, if it feels it's wrong, don't do it. Step number 1. Good morning, Lavenda. So I'm going to say that again. If it feels wrong, don't do it. Number 2, say exactly what you mean. Don't mince words. Don't tell them people you want to do something you really don't want to do it. Okay? Don't commit to things that you don't want to commit to. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, don't be a people pleaser. Quit trying to please people, hoping that they're going to come back to you and be kind and loving and caring and all those things. Good morning, Lawson, my nephew in New York. Don't even do it. Unnecessary. It's not going to happen. Number 4, trust your instincts. If you feel it in your gut, feel it in your heart, and then you've thought about it and really said, well, I don't get much out, stand on it. Don't give it up. Stand on what it is. Okay? The next one, never speak bad about yourself. Never. I don't care if there's something that you keep going at over and over and over again because you can't get it right. Just keep doing it till you get it right. But don't talk about the process that helped you get there to get it right. Leave it alone. Let it go. It's just not a big deal. So I try not to talk bad about myself, even though I know there's days that I've fallen down. There's things that I've gone left on when I should have gone right. Things I've gone down on, I should have gone up. Things I bought that I didn't need. All those things. People I'm talking to that I shouldn't talk to. All those things. Okay? I'm not going to talk bad about myself just because I did them. What I talked about is don't look back. That was yesterday, or that was 2 years ago, or that was my childhood. Quit blaming something on yourself that it happened, own up to it happening, move on. Okay? Never give up on your dreams. If you have a dream, stick to it. In fact, go back to a dream that you had as a child. Because a child had an imagination that was beyond compare. Nobody could imagine what you did. I always used to tell my mother I was going to be a doctor. I didn't know that God already had that in my plans. I never knew it. But I did have the dream. I had this ambition. I'm going to be a doctor. But then it was a medical doctor, because I saw myself fixing people. Okay? But what did God do? He still put me in a position to help fix people as a counselor, as an educator, because you can help people move along. You can really do it if you're living the dream that you had, So go back to the dream that you had as a child. Understand that dreams do come true. It says, don't be afraid to say no. We had this conversation 2 days ago. When it's no, it's no. It's all right. I can't do that. No. Can't come over there. No. No, I can't let you have any money. No. Say your no, stand on it, be okay with it. Don't let people browbeating you into a position of what I call proneness. You're there. You're waiting to be preyed upon. Say no, mean no, don't go back. Stand on it. Okay? Don't be afraid to say yes. When there's something you can do, let people know you can do it. And then do it. Because a lot of times we have empty promises. We promise people the moon, knowing darn well we can barely see the sky, let alone give them the moon. So we have to be realistic about what we can do. Do not commit to things that you cannot accomplish. That would be a no. But a yes would be, yes, I see it, yes. And then tell them how much it costs of your time, because time is valuable. Of any monetary amount that it may cost, be honest about it. Don't give them the low ball. Good morning, Tricia. Don't give them low ball. Don't give it to them for nothing. People are used to people giving them things for nothing. But start charging for your time. Start charging for your creativity. Start charging for the things that you need to be compensated for. And it's not just monetary compensation. It could be you can barter with people. I remember my father and mother were good barterers. There were 10 children, but we were never on welfare. I never remember, but we had welfare cheese. That was the best cheese. It made the best sandwiches ever. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, those were good cheese sandwiches. We were never on welfare. My father worked hard. My mother took care of everything in the house. My father took care of everything outside the house. And as the kids, they got older and they moved, my father was there helping them, making sure. And he worked 3 jobs. Okay, we knew he was Jamaican. No, we were just kidding with that. Jamaicans are the ones supposed to have a lot of. Good morning, Rachel. They're supposed to have a lot of jobs. Okay, so what we like to say is understand that it is what it is. It is what it is. And so if you have somebody around you that does a lot of stuff for a lot of people, that's wonderful. Take nothing away from it. But understand that your time, or you're bartering, because that's what he did. He'd barter. So they wanted him to do something, he would do it. And good morning, honey. They would turn around and they would say, okay, my dad's name was Johnny. Johnny, we're going to give you this and this and this. And we'd have some of the same things that the people that were working, that weren't working, but they needed my dad's services. So my dad said, well, you don't have any money. Just barter with me with something else. So, as I said, we had government cheese and peanut butter. The oil used to sit on top of that peanut butter. Child, please. I hate the peanut butter, and I wasn't a fan of that. But I was a big fan. I thought it was just too dry, even though the oil was on top. It was just dry peanut butter. It's gross. But anyway, it says, be kind to yourself. That's number 9. Be kind to yourself. Don't wait for other people to be kind for you. First of all, you have to respect yourself enough to demand kindness. Sometimes you have to tell people, look, I gave you no provocation to talk to me any way you want to. I gave you no provocation to take something from me that you didn't ask for. You didn't ask, could I have? So that would be, you have to tell people, tell people that I deserve kindness. So I'm going to start with myself. I'm going to be kind to me. And then I'm going to make you be kind to me. Otherwise, you got to be gone. Number 10, let go of what you can't control. You cannot control people, positions, okay? Power. Understand what you have power over. Understand what you are running up against. Understand it. A lot of times we live in a world dreaming that we're in control and other people are controlling us, like a puppet, okay, like a little marionette. They up there, yeah, dance, man. Oh, I think my daughter used to, from one of those movies, dance, pool boy, dance. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that was funny. But anyway, understand your control. If you don't have any, then establish some. That means anything that generates from the self you are. Okay, that's your care. That's your care, because when you're not in control of stuff, guess what? It's going to be all right. You realize that was out of my control anyway. Can't control it, needs to be gone. Next one says, stay away from drama and negativity. Drama and negativity. This is so good, this 12 steps. I'm going to start adding it every couple of weeks or every week, adding it one time to my session because I love it. It says, staying away from drama and negativity. Have you ever met people that every time you talk to them, they arguing with somebody or they're getting ready to argue with you because you're mad about the fact that they arguing? It's like, well, what's going on? Why? Calm down. People go to their grave arguing because they got in an argument, blood pressure shot up, bam, they gone. I don't want to go out like that. I want my life to be peaceful. I don't want to be around people that are full of drama. I don't want the negativity. I want the positivity. I want you to be positive about who you are. Stand your ground. Be who you are. Love yourself. Good morning, Vanessa. Love who you are. Do not get into a position of constantly, being angry. To me, anger just takes away time of peacefulness, happiness, contentness, calm, serenity, all those things that are descriptive of your, what I call your just your presence. I don't want people to be in my presence and they're constantly, what I call revving it up. I don't want to be revved, please. And if you got some revving to do, Go over there. Rev over there. Go home. Go to wherever you want to be. And some people, because they're so used to it, it's natural. That's their regular. I don't want it to be my regular. I do not. And the last one on this sheet of taking self-care to make it important is love. Love who you are. You only get one of you. There are no other people that's going to come in and make you more you. You are you. Discover who you are. Be a person that just says, I am who I am, and I'm happy about that. Whatever it is, change the things that you have control over to change. What you can't change, don't worry about them. So today's area is care. That's the area we're dealing with. And care is your own management. It's understanding that this is your trust, your responsibility. It's basically your control. That is care. All those things. It says it's the provision of which is a necessity for your health, your welfare, your maintenance, and your protection of others, because it does say of someone or something, and I'm going to add something, or self-care. And I'm more willing today to talk about self-care than other people's care. Because a lot of times, good morning, my nephew Sean, we've done so much for others that we've left ourselves out on our own care. So I'm telling you, you need to get in touch with your own care. How do you understand self and the care of yourself? That's important. So you know how I do, I kind of break it down. So breaking this word down of care, the C is for critique. Critique. It's a detail. It's a detailed analysis and assessment of something literally, philosophical, political, theoretical. It's you. What can you break down? What can you analyze? What can you really delve into to get the understanding of the review of something? How critical can you be? Can you write it up? Can you really look at it as an appraisal of something, an evaluation? And a lot of times we've let that skill go because other people critique us so much that we're not only afraid to critique for ourselves, but we're afraid to critique even to others because they've basically kind of shut us down. They dismissed whatever we critique. Well, it doesn't matter. Find out how you critique something for yourself and stand on it. Be honest about the person that's trying to talk to you. Be honest about the person that's come with you to ask you your opinion, only to basically say that it was worthless, whatever you had to say. Dismiss them. Dismiss them. But find your ability to be able to critique. The next word is abandon. And abandon says cease to support or look after someone. And what I'm asking you to do is look at deserting things that you need to leave behind. Desert them, not the dessert that you're going to eat. Okay, desert meaning leave. Leave it high and dry. Leave it alone. Jilt it. Strand it. Or sometimes when they say, good morning, Yolanda. Good morning, Erica. When you strand something, that means they over there and you didn't go get them. They're stranded. Okay? They may call you in the middle of the night, but yet and still in the middle of the day, they hang in. When you've needed them, they're not available. Okay? So to abandon something means to give up on it. You cast it aside. You're done with it. Okay? And sometimes we need to do that with people, with the position that we're in. Good morning, T. And sometimes we also need to do it with our passion for things because we're done with it. We need to abandon the idea, abandon the concept because it hasn't worked for us. If we've been real critical of ourselves and we critiqued ourselves, then we should be able to understand that sometimes we need to abort. We need to abandon. We need to just move on. Okay, turn our backs on it. That's what we need to do. And sometimes we don't do that because we're so busy trying to make it work. And that could be in relationships. That could be where you work at. That could be the profession you're in. All those things. Because if you're in something and you're still on the bottom of it, made no movement, that should be a concern. That should be a concern. That means either you're going to make movement or you're not. My mother always used to say, get off the piss or get off the pot. Sorry. Kind of same thing, you know. If it's not working for you, find something else to do that will work for you. Put your passion in. Go back to what I talked about, those multiple intelligences. Figure out what else you can do, and then try something new. That would be wonderful. The next word is radiate. And radiate is the spread or the fan. It's from a central location. You know, and in this instance, I'm talking about I want you to have a radiation from inside, not the radiation from others coming to you as a raise, as a way of telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. I'm talking about your own radiation. You radiate. You get something out there. You fan it out. You find your diversity. You branch out. You cast it. You emit it. All of those things you extend, which talks about the you, but it's coming from inside you. It's not coming from other people. It's yours. You own it. And sometimes because we buried it, once again, that's that basement stuff. Because we buried it, we can't even get to it. We can't get to it. We don't know how to get to it. We let other people usurp our understanding of ourselves, usurp our authority and what we control, usurp our control or our ability to control. It's gone because we've given it away. So I'm asking you to reach down, come up with your own radiation. Go back into your basement. Go back into the area of rummage and find it and bring it out through what you believe in, through your heart, but through what you think with, through your head, and what you deal with in terms of your ability to move out on it, of what I call your healing. All those things. Okay. The last word is empirical, of the E. So C-A-R-E, critique, abandon, radiate, and the last one is empirical. And empirical is based on your concern with or your verifiable evidence or observation through experience, through your experience, meaning you've observed it. It's worked for you. You've seen it in action. It's good. Okay. Sometimes you have to do that, even though theory may say something else. Sometimes. Look at what they're doing with all of these virus tests. Not all of it. It's theoretical the way they're approaching it. But in terms of what actually is working, the only ones that are working are the ones that the doctors know about. And so because it's done kind of haphazardly all over the country, not everybody will have access to the same information until the other ones have proven to be or needing to be abandoned. And then more will show up. Then it will be uniform. The approach maybe should have been uniform, but it wasn't. And so, you know, this is a prime example of seeing that based on the practicalness of it actually working, shows that observation, you know, experience, in some instances will outweigh the theory that people are, the frame that they're working from. So those are pretty much the areas for today. And I have some questions, so I hope you have your pen and paper. And please share this, everybody that's in this space with me. Share it. It won't hurt you to share. You don't even have to write a post unless you just want to say, I learned a little something today. Remember, I told you that every day I get up, it's my attempt to learn something that I did not know last night when I went to sleep, and didn't know until I got up and went throughout my day that I could learn something else. But that's my joy. Question number 1: can you truly critique yourself? Be honest. What would you include if you're really critiquing yourself? You know, if you were to get a piece of paper, and I used to do this when I had counselees, I would have it where they did their pros and their cons. It could be about relationships. It could be the job they're in, the career they're in, their children, wherever they're troubled. Good morning, Jamisha. So wherever they were troubled or wherever they were happy, okay, because it's not just being troubled. It's also looking at your happiness. You know, what makes you happy? And sometimes you have to realize that unless you put it down, pros, cons, you never realize where your joy is, because you're so caught up in what may be taking up a lot of time, but may be distracting you from your real peace. And your peace is in your happiness. To me, that for me, I do not want to be peaceful or unhappy or discontent. I want to be in a position of, I'm fine today. Not waiting on you to tell me how my fine is. I want to be happy regardless. Okay. The next question is, what can you abandon currently, right now? What can you abandon, let go of? People, positions, promotions. What can you leave it alone and not worry about it anymore? And be honest. If you can't, you may have to skip over that right now. You might have to. But that to me is important, that I know what I don't need in my life, what's taking up too much time, what's taking up too much energy, what's taking up too much money. All those things pretty much say that it needs to be abandoned, or it needs to be maybe reordered, dealt with differently, redirected, expanded upon, or lessened. Because sometimes if we put more in something, it would be better for us than we just say that's something that we're charged with doing. Sometimes if we don't realize that we have to go in the classroom, sit down and listen to the instructor, write down the notes, do the homework in order for us to get the A, and we're just going to try to wing it. We're never going to read the assignments. We're never going to do the homework, but we're going to go sit for the test. Just saying. Are you stuck? Yes, we are all stuck. We will all do things that make us disappointed in what we're doing and where we're at. The next question is, can you get in touch with what radiates from you? Not anybody else. What radiates from you? Where does it come from? What is it? What is that one area, 2 areas, 5 areas? Like, I get excited when I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I get excited for it. And trust me, I plan. To me, the point of success is that you planned for it to be successful. So I never sit before you all and try to talk unless I've shored myself up, that I know a little something, that I've done some reading, done some research, done some writing, to make sure that this comes together. And I tell you, God has not failed me. Every single time I sit down, He gives it to me. He gives me what I'm supposed to put together. And before I know it, He's created a new map for me to place before you, for you to utilize. This is map one. This is a map, and it's your quest. Okay. The last one is, can you reach an empirical observation and you'll stick with it and own it under your own judgment? Can you do it? Can you say, well, I know what's worked. I've seen it work. So therefore, that's mine. I'm going to own that. I know what theory might say, but this has worked for me. And sometimes we may come upon something and it works. But then other people will say that you're telling this story. It's not working. Once again, your control is you. So you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to even believe them or go with them or worry about any of that. The point is, good morning, Al. The point is that you are in a position of your own authority under the man upstairs. Okay? If you're a Christian. And it doesn't matter. It may be Allah, it may be somebody else, it may whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But the point I'm making is that you want to be able to understand that if you observe something, believe it. I think Maya Angelou was the one who said, when people show you who they are, believe it. Believe it. Believe it. Don't keep going back to the person or hanging out with people that have shown themselves to you of not being honest, not being in your corner, being one-sided, taking more than they give, being up and you down, being on your right, so therefore you can't get to your right. They're really on your wrong, but you won't put them over there. Okay? That would be part of your understanding what your empirical observation is. But if you don't ever search for it, if you don't work for it, if you don't realize that people will do you wrong, and sometimes people don't mean to do you wrong, but it's how you feel about it. So if you continue to hurt in silence. Be upset in silence. Be mad in silence. Be worried in silence. And then who's it on? Who's it on? You can't blame, as I said, something in your past, because even if those things happen in your past and you're still thinking of them, it says don't look back. Don't look back. Look back long enough to get your good observation thing going on, your empirical observation, and then you judge. Judge for yourself if it's good for you. Judge for yourself if you need it. Judge for yourself if it's worthy of your time. And sometimes your money, and sometimes your health, whatever it is. Determine all of that for you, not for anybody else. It's just for you. All of this talks about your care of yourself, not others. We know we have obligations as parents. We know we have obligations as children for our parents. If we still are fortunate enough to have them, blessed enough to have them, we have an obligation with that. Okay, but I'm not even talking about those things. I'm talking about the things that what I call motivate us as living souls, as human beings. That just says, what else do I need? What do I control? What am I observing? What can I critique that I need to go back and critique and therefore abandon? You see, the Lord put that together for me, and I said, oh my goodness, that's good stuff. It's good stuff only because it talks about how to take care of yourself, where your care must come from. Okay, after we go with our spiritual care, we have to talk about our personal care. What are we doing? It's not just the bath. It's not just the brushing of the teeth. Okay, it's the inside. How do we take care of our inside? How do we continue to move forward if we feel that we're left in our basement? Come up. Do some of this stuff I've been telling you about. So dare to self-care. Dare it. Do not let it get away from you. Understand that there's going to be chatter in your head. Understand that the words to yourself should be, I'm worth it and I matter. Okay, as told by Mom, like poem. And I found that on Pinterest. Dare to self-care. Now, these I'm going to read again. I'm not going to go into detail like I did before, but those who came late, these are just good stuff. If you have a pencil, write it down. These are 12 steps for self-care. The first one says, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Don't do it. Number 2, say exactly what you mean. Number 3, don't be a people pleaser. Number 4, trust your instincts. Number 5, never speak bad about yourself. Number 6, never give up on your dreams. Number 7, don't be afraid to say no. Number 8, don't be afraid to say yes. Number 9, be kind to yourself. Number 10, let go of what you can't control. Number 11, stay away from drama and negativity. And number 12, love. I think that's good stuff. That is absolutely good stuff. And I found that on a Twitter account. It just says 12 steps for self-love. There was no one's name was by it. So we'll say right now it's anonymous. And if you find out differently, just let me know. And then under the whole topic of today, which is care, which is basically, taking all provisions to look out for others, but in most instances, all I'm worried about is you looking out for yourself. So under care, we want to talk about critiquing, coming up with an analysis of what it is that you need to be caring about. Your assessment, your review, your pros, your cons, all of that, your appraisal of where you are in your life. Number 2 talks about abandoning. That's the A in care. Abandoning. Cease to support or look after someone or some things. Okay? Quit chasing stuff that's not there. Can't get there. Quit chasing people who aren't for you. Let them go. And they're probably already gone. They just keep you hanging as a dangling participle. That is what it is. Okay? The other thing is, certainly it says, you must radiate. And the radiate in this is coming from yourself. You're not worried about anybody else. You're going to fan it out. Good morning. Good morning, Irish. You're not going to fan it out. You're going to bring it in. Everything belongs in and not out. Okay? So it says you're going to fan it out. You're going to branch out. You're going to be separate. You're going to emit who you are. Not worried about what people are telling you that you are. That's your opportunity to radiate. And the last one is to have an empirical base for your observations. Your experience comes over any theory that there might be. Meaning somebody has theorized that this doesn't work. You tried it and it works for you. That's good. Hold on to that. What works, works. What works, works. And the last thing were the questions, and I'll give them to you quickly. Can you truly critique yourself? What would you include in your critique? Pros, cons. A lot of times we can't get down to that level, but I'm asking you, go down to that level. Okay? Question number 2, can you abandon some things or some people in your life? Leave them alone. And it says people, possessions, positions, and promotions. All them P's. Can you get rid of any of them P's? Them P's, some of those P's aren't good. Okay? The next thing, can you get in touch with what you radiate from your center, from your core, from the you are? Can you get in touch with it? If you can, write it down. If you can't, work on it. And the last question is, can you reach an empirical observation and stick with it as your own judgment? Can you do it? Can you judge something based on your experiences and not someone else's? Because people will do that to you. They tell you what to do and you do it. My mother always used to say, if someone tells you to go jump off the bridge, you're going to do it. Sometimes that's what it works. So I want you to really work on self-care, your care, not anyone else's care, or not anyone else's caring of you either. Just work on your care. How important is that? To me, it's vital. It's vital that every day I get up, I know who I am. It's vital that every day I get up, I not only know who I am, but what my plans are. So every day I have a routine. I told you about my routine yesterday. So every day it's in my plan to do something that keeps me understanding how I care about myself. Good morning, Marion. How I care about myself. My care is important just as much as I want your care of yourself to be equally as important. In fact, it would be more important than my care of you. Okay? But care is important. Self-care is vital. People will not take care of you. They say they will and they won't. And sometimes you have to admit they can't. So just understand your level of care of self. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. I thank you for just taking this time, as I say, to scroll, to stop, to stay a little bit with me. And then, of course, if you'll share this video, I would be most pleased, most, as my mama say, most troubled, most loved, most kind. Okay? Have a wonderful day. I hope to see you Monday morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time, because, we're going to change soon, but it's still daylight time. Okay? Have a great weekend. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.